Hi there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back. My name is Angela, and today's video is going to be a garden vlog. I'm going to share with you what's going on here in my garden. It's a Zone 6 garden, southwestern Ohio, US. And I'll kind of show you mostly what's happening lately in the veggie garden, but also I have some plans to get some more perennials in the ground this coming week. If that sounds interesting, stick around. I am very happy to share with you that we finally got some decent rain this week. It actually rained, I think, on 2 separate days. So I was so excited about that. Like a lot of the country, it has been hot, dry, like the ground, the soil is parched, cracking, so dry. So we got a lot of rain, and I could tell immediate good results in my veggie garden. I'm going to flip you around and kind of show you what's going on here. So coming right into the garden, I've got my little hodgepodge right here. This is mostly flowers and herbs in a bunch of grow bags. And I did move some of my pepper pots and pepper grow bags up here just to give them a little bit better of a situation than I think they were in before, and hopefully keep them a little more protected. Previously, they were located towards the back of the garden, right there where that little group of grow bags is, and the deer come right through those woods there, which is one of the reasons we're getting this fence put up, albeit kind of slowly. So I moved most of my peppers up closer to the house. I don't know that that'll stop the deer, but another reason I wanted to kind of clear out this area here, which I still have a few lingering grow bags. I really need to focus on getting this middle walkway here and then all of this section here with a nice underlayment of cardboard and then mulched over, just to tidy up the appearance of the garden. I started out really strong doing that, in the spring, and then, like most years, I kind of dropped off. It just got old, lugging all the bags of mulch and trying to source cardboard from everywhere I could. I did get a decent amount nicely laid out over on that side of the garden. It's sort of like a moving target for me every year. I don't lay new mulch down every year, but I'll focus on whichever area needs it the most in each particular year and kind of do that. And you can see there where I've got the cardboard laid out, but I just haven't gone back to get any more mulch. So it'll happen. It's always a work in progress, as you guys probably can relate to. But getting back up to here, my flower zinnias mostly are looking so pretty. I hope that vivid orange is showing up on the footage. I've fallen in love with zinnias over these last few years and been growing them, and I do a few different varieties, but look at this one here. It's just gorgeous red. I think that this one is called Cherry Queen. I'll look that up, and if that's not right, I'll put the name of it on the screen. And another flower that's recently bloomed is my Tithonia, and I hope he's getting enough sun here, kind of tucked back in the corner. Wondering if I should move that. This is the common name for this is, I think, Mexican sunflower. I think the formal name is Tithonia or Tithonia. I've grown that one before a couple of years ago, and it's so pretty. It's kind of daisy-like in appearance, which is so lovely, kind of delicate. And other than that, I have been trying to fill in the gaps where plants weren't thriving, or I could tell that they weren't going to do very well. Just plopping some new seeds in just to try to make use of, the limited space that I have here. And also another thing I've been doing, where I have tomatoes growing in a lot of these grow bags, I've been popping some flower seeds in there so they can just to maximize the space, and they should play nicely together. Like, for instance, there was a squash seeded in here, and it never even germinated. So instead of just redoing a squash, which I have really bad luck with, I put in a lemon cucumber. So I kind of don't have great luck with cucumbers either. Squash and cucumbers both are have been a struggle with me, although there have been some years where I've had successful crops. It seems like in the last 2 or 3 years, no sooner do they germinate than something eats them. So I'll always keep trying just because I enjoy eating squash and cucumbers. But we'll see how that goes. I am having some decent luck with my squash. Like, for instance, this one here is a crookneck, and I think what's making all the difference, I'm using these plastic cloches to keep them covered at nighttime primarily. I'm trying to remember to take those off during the day so the plant can get full sun, but I really think those have been making the difference in keeping them protected. So fingers crossed, and I hope I didn't just jinx myself. We'll see how that plays out, but so far I've had good luck with those. It was a worthy purchase. And I've got an eggplant here. This is called Turkish orange. It's getting some flowers on it. I like eggplant okay. Like, if I have 1 or 2 eggplant plants, that's usually plenty enough for me. I don't eat eggplant a whole lot. I've got a couple of bean plants that are making their way up this trellis here. Beans are one of those, if I can keep the deer away from them, they're usually a no-fail plant for me, or they're not subject to as heavy of pest pressure as some of the other things that I grow. And in my little greenhouse here, I had started some watermelon seeds in these, I guess these are about gallon-sized pots, and they're doing really well. I think almost all of them have germinated, and some of them are getting some height on them, but I know that they're going to have to come out of here at some point and get into a permanent growing situation. So out of all the varieties that I started, which I'll share with you here in just a minute, all of them have germinated at least 1 seed. So that makes me happy that I'll get a variety. So I've got Blacktail Mountain, which I've grown for years successfully. Crimson Sweet, which I've tried or grown a couple of years. And Baby Doll, that's kind of a new one for me. I might have tried it last year, but I didn't really tend to it well enough, and it didn't do well. No fault of the seed. I've got Sangria and Sugar Baby. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different varieties. The task at hand is going to be finding places to grow these, and I think I do have good space for them. These larger 20-gallon size grow bags, along with these 2 here, I have been trying to grow melons and sunflowers, and I've seeded everything at least twice, and no germination at all. So I'm wondering, what is up with that? They get full sun, so I'm thinking what I might do is transplant those watermelon seedlings into here, and I have enough of these trellis cages to cover all 5 of these grow bags, so they'll have something nice to grow up on. So that's kind of my hope for the watermelons. My potato plants seem like they are flagging or lagging behind and starting to die off, so soon it will probably be time to harvest potatoes in earnest. So that's pretty much what's going on here in the veggie garden. Just keeping everything tended to, and just plopping in new seeds where anything has failed, just to maximize the space. Anything that I still have enough growing time left, which today is June 30th, so it's hard to believe. We usually get our first frost here mid to late October, so I still have a decent amount of time left to grow, some things, so for sure. I'm going to take you around to the other side of the house and show you what I've got going on over there. I'll meet you over there. And over here on the other side of the house, I really don't do too many edibles or veggies. I just kind of stick to landscaping type plants, and in the last 2 years I'm really focusing on planting this space here with native plants, trying to stick to that. The exception that I do have, I mean, I do have a couple of shrubs and maybe one or two perennials that aren't native, which I will keep those. But I started a couple of pumpkin seeds here, and they seem to be doing well. And I am also using my plastic cloches to cover those up at night. This one here is called a fairy tale, and then I've got two seeds that germinated here, and this one is called jackstraw. So I have hopes for those, and I think that they should have enough room to sprawl in this bed. So fingers crossed that those do well. But the new things that I am putting in, I bought a couple of, I've got them tucked over here. They're still in their pots. They're in the shade in a protected location. I've got a couple of coneflower plants that I'm going to get into that bed. And then this here is a serviceberry. So I need to look up more about the serviceberry to see what its needs are so I can figure out best place to plant it. It may go here or maybe go out onto the property, just depending on, what it's most suited to. And walking back around to the front of the house, I'll show you this real quick and then we'll probably wrap this up. And I don't have too many new things to share with you. One thing I've been doing for several years now is a few of these here in these pots are house plants. Almost all of my house plants go outside for the summer, and it depends, the location where they get situated depends on what they are most suited to as far as diffuse light, bright sunlight, full sun. So it's kind of nice. I feel like it does them well, and I call it their little vacation. So most of my houseplants go on summer vacation, and these are just a few here. Not all of these are houseplants. This here, I've got some Nicotiana growing in. This is a native prairie grass that I just bought one plant of, so I'm kind of seeing how it does in this pot. If it needs to go in the ground, I can always do that later. This is a Majesty palm. I have a few of these, and I've had those for a few years now, and just attending to them. The leaves start to die off, they get pruned and, transplanted every few years. And kind of more on the landscaping front, I've got a bunch of ferns along here, because this area right here in front of basically the whole front of the house, other than this corner, this area here, which gets some afternoon sun, this is mostly shaded all day long. So the ferns love it here. And I just noticed this wonderful little spider here. I don't know if that's showing up. We get tons of spider webs built all over the porch area. I usually just let it be. I mean, once in a while, if there's no active spiders, I'll take the broom or the hose and kind of clean it up a little bit. But for the most part, I just let them be. I like having them around. And it might be interesting to you guys to share this. This is a coral bells, and I put this in at least 5 years ago and probably longer. So it's just in a pot, and it sits, up off the ground by 3 feet or so. And this thing thrives no matter what. We've had winters where it was negatives, like -3, -5, something like that, and we've had blistering hot summers, and half the time I forget to even water this plant, and it still pretty much thrives. It's so beautiful. I think that that's a proven winner's variety. It might be called Fun and Games or something along that line, but I just can't believe. Sometimes I wonder if it's even real, just because it's off the ground, which you'd think that that would be worse for it in the winter time, you know, offer less protection. I could be wrong about that, but and just with the neglect that it gets what Mother Nature gives it. Although I did water it once during this extreme drought that we've had the past few weeks. So I can't say enough good things about that. I do love coral bells. They're so pretty. And that's about all I have to share with you today. We'll kind of keep it short. And thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you stopped by. I hope that your garden's growing well. Let me know what you're growing this summer, if you're having any struggles, and what your successes are. And I will see you next week.